Kristofer Couture is described as a white male that is 5 feet 8 inches tall with brown hair and brown eyes. Kristofer has been missing since January 26, 2019. He had recently moved from Edmonton back to the Lower Mainland. The Lower Mainland is the area between Hope, BC, and it spans all the way to Vancouver, BC. Kristofer was last seen on January 25, 2019 at Good Life Fitness at 3343 North Road, Burnaby, BC. He arrived at the gym approximately 1 p.m. Eva Couture is his mother, and she is heartbroken over his disappearance, and she is offered a $10,000 reward for any information that will lead to the whereabouts of her son. She feels that someone knows something and needs to come forward. Kristofer drove a gray 2000 Saturn with an Alberta license plate BXZ4755. His vehicle was found abandoned just outside of Chilliwack at the Elk Mountain Trailhead. Before the vehicle was noticed at the trailhead, there is evidence that he was at a grocery store in New Westminster, and he also had attended work on a construction in Maple Ridge on January 25th. Eva also said that his vehicle was left at the trailhead for 2 months before she was notified. In April 2019, she received a phone call from the RCMP stating that they found Chris's wallet with some criminals and no sign of Chris. She told the officer that she was concerned about her son. She couldn't get a hold of him, and the officer told her, "Well, now you know where he is. He's in Chilliwack, BC." And that was the end of the conversation. His mom feels guilty for not pursuing it further at the time. After another month went by, a letter for Chris arrived at Eva's home. The letter from the RCMP in Chilliwack stated that they had his car and it had been towed from Elk-Thurston trailhead, and that they had known it to have been there since January 2019. She immediately contacted them about her not having talked to him since January, and they wouldn't do anything, stating that maybe he just doesn't want to be found. But after persisting, she finally spoke to a woman on the phone that took her statement and filed the missing persons report. The last purchase Chris made on his debit card was at Save On Foods on January 26th at 1 p.m. in New Westminster. A hiker spotted Chris's car on the morning of January 27th at 6 a.m., but the back window had been smashed out. Later on in the day, the police noticed that the car was there and took a picture and filed a report. There were numerous reports following January 27th of the car being abandoned and repeatedly broken into, so any evidence was destroyed. A total of 5 police reports were filed on the car, and they finally had it towed in May and notified the owner. So for just over 3 months the car sat there. Eva said that it is not like her son to just abandon his belongings. What was left in the car was 1 workout shoe, his gym shorts, and 1 tank top. His gym bag was gone. An investigation was done on the car, and it didn't show any signs of being hot-wired. It was driven with the key. They can't tell who actually drove it there between 1 p.m. on January 26th and 6 a.m. on January 27th. The police believe Chris went hiking and fell. Eva has done an extensive search throughout the Lower Mainland's homeless camps and shelters and hasn't turned up anything. She has left many posters of her son in those areas. The Pattison Outdoor Advertising Group set up 3 billboards along the Trans-Canada Highways, Lower Mainland, with information about Chris. Eva has also set up a reward to any person who can lead her to her son. She has emphasized that you can remain anonymous and you don't have to physically take her to Kristofer's location. On July 7th, 24 volunteers, some coming from Alberta, to search on Elk-Thurston Trail. The search was organized by Eva. The RCMP scaled back their initial search, and there was no evidence found on whether he fell off of the trail or foul play was involved. If you are an avid hiker and will be in this area, you are humbly requested to please keep your eyes open for anything that might be related to Chris's disappearance. The Chilliwack RCMP remain in contact with the Couture family throughout this investigation, says Corporal Mike Rail. He said someone knows where Chris is, and we ask that person or Chris himself to reach out to the RCMP. In a message from July 9th, 2019, Eva was very thankful to the over 65 volunteer searchers who came out and gave of their time and energy to search for her son. Earlier in the year, Kristofer, when he moved from Edmonton, had a bit of a struggle financially. He was working as a roofer. Eva helped Chris pay rent and buy groceries. And in January, she said that she had cut him off because she felt that he needed a little tough love in order for him to continue on with his life and be financially responsible. The last email received from Chris to Eva was on January 26th, and he asked her to hang on to his mail and that he would send her his new address shortly. Eva sent back text messages messages to her son, and when he didn't respond, she thought that maybe he was still angry with her for cutting him off financially. But after a cool-off period, she still wasn't receiving return texts. On Mother's Day, she was really depressed when Chris didn't try to make contact. She had no idea where he was. She thought maybe he just wanted his space and that she had to respect that. But she was sure he would call. But after the car was found, she knew something was wrong. On May 18th at midnight, Eva received a call from the RCMP saying that if she didn't come and get the car, that they would bill her. The RCMP were conducting an investigation into Kristofer's stolen ID that was being used fraudulently. On April 3rd, his ID was located in a stolen vehicle along with his wallet. On April 3rd, someone tried to use his driver's license and passport to rent a vehicle. The RCMP still didn't connect the abandoned car to the identity theft at this point. On April 13th, there was a break-in at a barn and a female was arrested, and she was in possession of several documents belonging to Chris. There were also suspicious transactions on his bank card that occurred after the car was abandoned. February 12th, his Bank of Montreal card was used at a Husky gas station in Chilliwack. On April 30th, there was an attempt to use the bank card again. Kristofer's cell phone pinged for the last time on January 26th. Kristofer also made a trip to the hospital on January 26th. Eva does not know why. All of Kristofer's things except his passport and phone have been recovered and accounted for. Chris's phone was last pinged on January 26th, close to the gym in New West. His phone was never found, and no outbound calls or texts have been made since the 26th. Kristofer Sean Couture is dearly missed by friends and family, and they want him home safe and sound. They love him very much. So a quick rundown of the facts are: Chris moved to BC from Edmonton in mid-January of 2019. He went to his roofing job in Maple Ridge the morning of January 25th and was seen at Good Life Fitness later that afternoon. The next day, January 26th, 2019, he was spotted leaving the Royal Columbia Hospital in New Westminster. It is unclear why he was at the hospital. His credit card was used to make a purchase at Save on Foods on the 26th, also in New Westminster. His mom believes this charge was made by him because of the items purchased: water, granola, and steak bites. After this purchase, there is no more digital trace of Kristofer or eyewitness accounts. On January 27th, an RCMP officer found Chris's car on Elk Mountain Trailhead, a gray 2000 Saturn with a smashed rear window, 100 kilometers away from where he was last spotted at Save on Foods in New Westminster. If you have any information on the whereabouts of Kristofer Sean Couture, you are urged to contact the Chilliwack RCMP at 604-792-4611, or to remain anonymous, call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-8477.